Get comfortable. Put on your headphones and take a break from the hustle and bustle of the day.
Устройтесь поудобнее, наденьте наушники и отвлекитесь от дневной суеты.
Chapter: Data or the Living. Logbook. Captain Marouz. Entry 0174A. Transition complete. We left familiar space and entered a new universe. The system clock recorded a 5-second void that none of us noticed except for the sensors. Perhaps time flows differently here. First, there was silence. But not the cosmic silence where radio noises and echoes of distant bursts work. Here, sound seemed to have drowned. Even the reactor's operation seems dull, muffled, as if the universe itself didn't want us to hear it. The hull of the ship Septia vibrates. The Guardian drones are reporting microcracks in the stabilizers. It's not critical yet, but it's a worrying sign. Space here is denser. It seems even light flows slower. The few stars that are here flicker as if through a thick layer of water. Lewis hovers over the control panel. His lenses tremble. The drone is picking up a noise that the sensors can't recognize. It resembles a bio-signal. It reacts strangely, as if it hears speech but can't translate it. Kairen, as always, jokes. Well, Captain, if they start eating us from the inside, I promise not to make any noise, at least. I don't answer. Jokes are his weapon against the unknown. I have calculation. Aliyah is silent. She sits by the observation dome and stares into the void. Too intently. There's no fear in her gaze, but there is tension. Logbook. Entry 0175B. We approached the first object. It's not a planet, not an asteroid. In front of us are the remains of a station, scorched down to its frame. The scale is like a small city. Charred beams rotate around a void, like the skeleton of an extinct beast. The smell of burning reaches us even through the filtration system, which means materials are still smoldering in the station's hull. Drones are detecting residual energy, either reactors or archival cores. This is where the choice arises. We can extract data. The probability that there are maps, records, technologies is 47%. Search for the living. The probability of detection is less than 2%. But Aliyah lifts her head and says quietly, "There is a breath there. I can feel it." For the first time, I catch myself thinking, her feelings are part of the equation. Dialogue. You know, Captain, that drones can detect noises, but they don't understand what they are. Only a living eye can distinguish a void from a trap. Kairen. A living eye is subjective. It is prone to distortion. Data is objective. 1. Only if it's read correctly. Aliyah. She intervened. Her voice was even, unemotional, but there was something firm in it. Logbook. Entry 0176C. We entered the station zone. Fragments of the hull rotate slowly. Some are in perfect geometry, as if the destruction was not an explosion, but a dismantling. Sensors are detecting residual thermal activity in the central block. I must make a choice now. Data archive or possible survivors. For a second, I allow myself a pause. The dry protocol requires, data is more important. It will preserve the memory of a civilization. It can be analyzed, used, passed on. Life is finite. Data is not. But for the first time in a long time, this formula doesn't seem absolute to me.
Captain, let's be honest. If there's even one living person there, they're more valuable than any archive. Archives are silent. People speak.
And what if their words are just noise? We are risking the entire crew for a ghost.
I hear breathing.
Logbook. Entry 0177D decision. I've always chosen data. Data can be used. Data will outlive the carrier. But if what we are seeing is not just the remains of a civilization, but someone who is still clinging to life, I must decide whom we are retrieving. My choice. We will enter the station. Before I sign the sentence, I must see for myself. Addendum. Personal note. Kyren smirked when I announced the decision. You dry old stick. I knew you had a crack in you. Aliyah didn't smile. She just nodded, as if she knew this would happen. I'm not sure if this is a captain's decision. Rather, a human's decision.
Chapter: The Wanderer's Voices. His steps sounded too loud in the dead hall. Every movement echoed, as if not the walls, but the very bodies around him were repeating his motions, adjusting, listening, coming to life. Aliyah felt them, not with her eyes, but with something new that was born within her each day. When the wanderer walked past the chairs, the dead figures behind his back seemed to gasp for air. The shadows grew denser. "They're still here," Aliyah whispered. "They haven't left." "Not souls," the captain noted briefly. "Echoes of memory, left in the station structure." "Sometimes that's scarier than souls," Kyren muttered, gripping his flashlight so tightly his knuckles turned white. The wanderer stopped in the middle of the hall. His chest rose unevenly, but he was breathing. He looked at them not as he would at people, but as he would at a long-awaited answer. "I was one of them," he said. His voice was hoarse, but every word sounded like a stone falling into a void. "We came here to explore, to stop, to find. I don't remember anymore. We were sitting, waiting for a signal, for too long." He ran a hand over his own face, as if checking to see if it was still there. The others fell asleep, and the station decided their time was up. But with me, it spoke. I don't know how many years have passed. Aliyah took a step closer. She felt his breath, his voice, but even more strongly, she felt what was behind it. It was like a chain reaching back, each word a link tied to the station's walls. "You're connected," she said, "to it, to its memory. It holds me," the wanderer nodded, "and I hold it. If I leave, it will collapse. If it disappears, I will disappear too." Lewis let out a soft electronic whistle. His sensors detected an energy pulsation under the floor. The vibrations resembled a heartbeat. "It's the station's heart," the captain noted. "He's connected to it directly." "Or it's connected to him," Kyren corrected. From outside, a low, drawn-out sound rumbled, as if something heavy had shifted deep within. The air trembled, and dust sifted down from the ceiling. The wanderer raised his head. "It knows you're here." Aliyah felt a cold dread in her chest. She had heard its voices before, the voices of those who were no longer alive. But now, a new sound was mixed in. The station was speaking, not with words, but with metal, vibration, and electricity. "What does it want?" she asked. For you to stay, the wanderer replied. For you to become part of it. Chiron nervously snorted. Great, we have a suicide archaeology club on board. Now the station wants to add us to its collection too. The captain looked directly into the wanderer's eyes. But you're not asking us to stay, are you? No, he said. I'm asking you to take me. The words fell heavily into the hall. The dead silhouettes in the chairs stirred. Someone seemed to rise, jaws creaking. If you lead me out, I can show you the way to where time has not run out. But the price? The price? Alia asked softly. The wanderer lowered his gaze. They will follow us, all of them. At that moment, the dead choir hummed. At first softly, like wind in pipes, then louder. The voices multiplied, overlapping each other, merging into a wall of sound. Don't leave! Wait! Stay! Stay with us! Alia pressed her hands to her ears, but the sound was inside, in her blood, in her heart. Louis darted forward, his sensors flashing red. Danger! Resonance field, affecting cognitive centers. The captain sharply pulled Alia by the shoulder, yanking her back. Hold on, that's not your voice. But she knew it was her voice too. A part of her already wanted to sit in one of the chairs and wait. Wait for an eternity. The wanderer looked at her. Now you understand. If I leave, they won't let go. But if I stay, the path will remain closed. And then a light flickered in his eyes, real, alive. The choice is yours. Silence hung for a moment. Even the choir fell silent, as if waiting for an answer. The captain slowly surveyed his crew. So the station is alive, but it doesn't get to decide. We decide. He turned to the wanderer. If you show us the way, we'll try to get you out. But if they follow us, we will fight. And if they win? The wanderer asked. Chiron smirked, but his voice was strained. Then we'll just add to the chair collection. But believe me, we'll be the loudest exhibits. Alia was still trembling, but deep in her chest, she felt something else, a strange light, as if the station itself was testing her. And she knew this test had only just begun. The wanderer's extraction. The station gradually grew silent. The corridors, which had just been stirring with echoes of the past, looked cold and voiceless again, as if they had exhaled their last breath. But in the hearts of all three, the captain, Alia, and Chiron, that strange hum remained. It was alive, even though the walls had been dead for a long time. Alia kept her hand on the wanderer's shoulder. His skin felt stretched, like a cloth left in the wind, but his eyes were glowing. They weren't the eyes of someone who had just woken up. This was a gaze that had lived through decades of solitude. Marius spoke first. "You must explain. Where have you been all this time?" The wanderer blinked slowly. He sighed, as if his lungs had long forgotten the rhythm of breathing. "I'm an explorer, an archaeologist like you." His voice was hoarse but firm. "We came here many cycles ago. The planet was called Itarius. It was once the pearl of trade routes, seas of sand, oasis cities, towers that shone even at night. But back then, a war was already beginning. Not the kind you know, not an overt one. It was a war of memory. Aliyah frowned. A war of memory? The wanderer nodded. The guardians lived here. They could weave their memories directly into the fabric of reality. Every wall, every stone held not just a form, but also feelings. If you touched a column in a temple, you would feel the joy of its creators. If you touched the sand, you would hear it sing. It was a marvel. But when the invaders came, they used it as a weapon. They wove fear into the walls, despair into the sands, darkness into the temples. People began to lose themselves. First, sleep. Then they forgot their own names. Then they disappeared. Aliyah's eyes widened. What she had felt near the station's walls now made sense. "And you?" Kairat asked softly. "How did you survive?" The wanderer looked away. His fingers trembled. "My team and I came here too late. We wanted to explore, to understand if there was a chance to restore the planet's memory. But the corridors were already infected with a foreign echo. I heard their screams, even when no one was screaming. My companions were taken one by the voices. They got lost in their own memories and never returned. I was left alone. And then the station. It caught me, froze me in time, as if it decided I was part of it." Aliyah closed her eyes. She felt as though she could sense that trap, a loop of whispers, of a past that held on more tightly than any iron. "But why did you wake up now?" the captain asked. The wanderer looked directly at Aliyah. "Because you touched it. You brought something different, not fear. You brought light." Aliyah lowered her eyes. It was hard for her to accept these words, but deep down she felt it. He wasn't lying. The planet Itarius. When they led the wanderer outside, the sandy wind hit their faces. The sky was colored in coppery tones, as if the sunset here never ended. In the distance, the ruins of cities loomed, towers that jutted into the clouds, but cracked and bowed, like a giant who had fallen to his knees. Marius gazed at the horizon. This planet is dead, but it breathes with a foreign pain. "It's not entirely dead," the wanderer corrected. "The guardian's memory is still here. You heard it, you felt it. It was waiting for someone like you." Chiron smirked, but there was little joy in his smile. "We, archaeologists, it turns out we're rescuers again." The wanderer shook his head. "You are not rescuers. You are witnesses, those who preserve the truth." Conclusion. They returned to the ship at night. The sands were behind them, but the shadows still clung to their minds. Marius sat in his chair and made a dry entry in the log. "We found a living being. We don't know his name yet, but he is a witness, lost in the memory of Itarius. His story proves the enemy knows how to change perception itself. The danger is not only in weapons, but also in what can take root in our thoughts. I must decide what is more important, the data on the planet or the lives of those who are still holding on. This time, I choose the living." Aliyah, listening to the captain's voice, felt wings unfolding in her chest. Yes, the past was terrifying. Yes, the whispers still sounded. But now, next to them, was someone who had survived this hell. The wanderer, living proof that even in a trap of memory, you can wait for the light. And for the first time since their journey began, Aaliyah thought, maybe everything will be all right after all.